Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video we are covering for the first time on the channel a battle report of Warmachine, and it's going to be a didactic battle report because we're really trying to understand the rules. The game is quite complex. They are complex in the sense that there are a lot of rules and a lot of subtle differences between the rules. It seems quite balanced, and to accompany me today I have
Jason.
And Jason is an old school player from Warmachine. He's been playing for a while the game, and he is part of the French community of Warmachine of Paris. It's a small but resilient community that is still playing the game, and he will teach me a little bit how to play. I am very new in this game. We already had quite a long briefing beforehand, and we will try to show to you the condensed identity of the game, how it's played, how to make the movements, etc. We will not go too much in details for now. It's really meant to be a short battle report to really get you the feeling of the game. We will play at 50 points. As always, if you like this type of content, give us a thumbs up, it really helps. Give us a comment as well to let us know if you are interested in Warmachine, if the explanations were clear, and you gain a chance to win an entire armada for Dystopian Wars as well each time you leave us a comment, either the Union, either the Covenant. Without further ado, let's have a look first at the scenario and how the objectives are made in this game. And first of all, I would like to thank again Jason, which invited me in his home to play for this demonstration. So thanks again for having us here. This is a table of 120 by 120 centimeters, so that is quite good. It's 4 by 4, and it means that it can be played on a kitchen table, which is actually quite enjoyable. So as we said, we play 50 points, which is quite a low scale of points for the game, but it will allow us to understand how it is played. It is not an alternate activation game, but it seems very well balanced and much more interactive and fun than, for example, 40k. And first thing that lets you know that they understood what they were doing with this is that the first player has a smaller deployment range of 6 inches, and I got to choose my deployment here because it was better for me. The tables are a little bit asymmetric with all the terrain. We'll talk about the terrain very quickly, but yeah, it's a little bit asymmetric, and I have 11 inches to deploy my troops. So even if in a very competitive game like this, the tables are a little bit asymmetric. For now, like it's 2D terrain, we'll try to make some terrains for Warmachine later on. But the tables are asymmetric, and it gives this feeling of almost a narrative game, even in a very competitive environment. And we can see that he is the attacker, I am the defender, because of this deployment zone trick. So very interesting. This scenario for today, I will be playing the Storm Legion against the elves of the Retribution of Scyrah, and those are going to be the main objectives to capture. So this is going to be my objective because I chose where it is. It's on an acid pool here. Don't ask how it happened in the lava area, but there is an acid pool here. I will need to be within 2 inches of this terrain to capture it, and he has this in this house. Also, he will need to be within 2 inches to capture it. Then we have this cache of resources. We need to waste an activation of someone that will be touching this to gain the points. Okay, and then the cache disappears, obviously. And finally, this thing out in the open, and this thing here, we need to have either a solo, so a guy that is not part of a unit that just wanders around, or our Warcaster, which is our leader hero, within 3 inches, I think, of this, and then we will be able to score it. So that is going to be quite interesting. We will make you discover the rules as we play, as we progress. But the thing to note is that there are 2 ways to win in this game, with the points, or also if you kill your hero, you have one hero, one Warcaster. For me, it's going to be this little girl here. For him, it's going to be this little ninja girl there that has crazy rules from what I've heard so far. So if you lose your Warcaster, your little hero, the game is over. You lose. Like, it's kind of like chess. So that is going to be quite interesting. We'll see how this goes. Just to sum it up very quickly about the objectives, there are some terrains that you cannot see through. For example, house here, house there. There are some terrains such as the forest, which plays a little bit the same as Netepic, which means that if you are more than 3 inches on the other side or even inside the forest, you cannot see through. And finally, we have this burning area, which just slows you down and gives you some penalties. And the trench, which has a very cool rule. It gives you cover, obviously, kind of like the same as this wall here. But also, when you are inside, you don't block the lines of sight anymore because you are under, technically. That's very cool and fluffy rules. And we put some more rocks here and there, but they don't impact the terrain. It's just to make the table a little bit more beautiful. Okay, that is going to be it for the scenario. Let's start with the lists, and we will first see the Retribution of Scyrah list. Okay, so here is the Retribution of Scyrah army. Very beautiful elvish forces. Like, I usually don't like elves, but I have to admit, in Warmachine, I do like them very much. So, as we've seen, this is the Warcaster, Kaelyssa. Kaelyssa, okay. I mix up with a new army, the House of Dusk, House Kaelyssa. We have here one pack of Mage Hunter Infiltrators. They are very fast and they are meant to just charge forward. They have Pathfinder, lots of rules to be fast, and they charge and they bring the pain. We have here Narn, which is a character solo that is very fast, very aggressive. Again, it goes through many things. He's very acrobatic and he gives sprint around. To benefit from this, 2 Mage Hunter Assassins. Well, the names say it all. If they breach your armor, you will lose a lot of health very fast. Here we have 3 mechanics, as you can see, 1 here and 2 there. They are here to give some boost of focus for the machines. We will talk about it a little bit more when we make an attack and stuff. But basically, they feed, like, to give them a lot of boost, they need focus, which is a special resource generated by your Warcaster. And these mechanics give even more. Okay, very well. They can also repair and give some buffs. We have Wardens here, 1, 2, 3. These guys are very tanky. They are, of course, obviously, as you can see, they attack in melee. They are resilient, which is not something you can say of a lot of their list. They have a high defense, so they're hard to hit. But once you hit them, they have low armor, so they can die quite fast. And they also give resistance to blast, I think, or knockdown, something. Finally, we have the 2 Warjacks. So this guy, as you can see, he looks very powerful. That's because he is. He's good in melee. He has a good shooting attack with this amazing looking cannon on the shoulder. And we have here the assassin character Warjack here called Moros. And this guy, well, I'm not sure what he does exactly, but if he reaches me in melee, I think it's not going to be a fun time for me. And this guy is called Athena. That is it for the list of Scyrah. He plays first, but before he makes his entire first turn, and we will of course make some shooting of, recording of some actions, some movement, etc. As the interest is, we'll first see who is going to try to hold off this wave of angry elves. It's going to be the Storm Legion. So these guys for this initiations are going to be the Storm Legion at 50 points. They are basically voltaic knights. They have electric armor, electric weapons, and they're basically Prussians of dystopian wars, but they are in this universe, they're part of Cygnar, which is, let's say, the good guys with big quotation marks, but they're the main character faction, let's say, like the point of view factions for a lot of the novels, etc. So who do we have? We have my Warcaster here, which is Athena. She is a defensive-oriented Warcaster, and while she touches one of her Warjacks, which is their mechs, they're going to have better armor. Talking about mech, let's start like this. We have this little guy here, which is a Courser Warjack. He has a shield because as you know, my place, I love tanky things. And he has a big railgun that you can see right there. The other Warjack is going to be here. It's a striker. He has a shield again. Well, that's something you need to get used to. And the halberd here, which means it's going to be my first line of defense with a lot of tankiness. Talking about a line of defense, we have 3 Tempest Assailers right here. They're in the forest because the officer that is here can give them Pathfinder, so they can ignore the malus of being in a forest and craters and stuff. They're tanky and they're here to just hold the line as well. We have 3 also these Terminator looking guys, 3 Tempest Thunderers, which have basically rocket launcher electric weapons. They have area of effect weapons, which is just insane. They shoot powerful bolts of lightning that explode. As we've said, a Storm Legion officer here. It's not the right model, it's a Stormthrower, but it's the little mix-up in the painting order. But he's going to be proxied as an officer for now, so he can give orders left and right. Some bonuses, for example, they can friendly units can ignore each other for shooting, or they can gain Pathfinder or this kind of thing. So good boosting unit, good boosting solo. Finally, we have one pack here of 5 Stormblade Legionnaires. So again, infantry that is quite tanky with their shields. They can form a shield wall, which is very cool. And they have a banner to get even tankier. I will probably send them on this objective to try to contest it, while the rest of my force tries to hold the center. That is going to be it. I'm not going to explain every spell that everybody has, etc. We'll see it over the course of the game. As we said, initiative for the Retribution of Scyrah. Let's see the first turn. There have been a couple activations for the Retribution of Scyrah, and I stopped because the Warcaster just activated. And the thing is, in this game, unlike, for example, in 40k when you make all the movements, then auto shooting, etc., here you activate fully an entire unit before activating another one. So it's more like it creates some puzzles because you you have a whole turn, but you need to think like, who do I activate first? So it's quite interesting. So this guy, for example, the assassin went here, but with a charge, like an advance, which gives you +5 to your speed, flat. So I like when it's not like a d6 or something. It really allows you to anticipate where to go. He stayed far away from the objective. He does not capture because he's afraid of these guys, which apparently we read the stats. They are quite strong, actually. There's been these mage hunters moving forward, none as well. And the interesting thing that I want to point out is this Warcaster Kaelyssa has activated. And the first thing she did is, while she was there, she started to send some spells. And there are spells, of course, offensive when you pay some of the focus that you gain, which are like your mana power points that you get at the beginning of the turn. And she used quite a few of them to activate the upkeeps. And it means she starts to make a spell, and she still has one that she carries with her. So we calculate, like we see visually how many she has. So she activates the spells, which are very expensive, which are upkeeps. So she spends a lot of focus to start them, and then they're going to be permanently on turn after turn after turn until they are dispelled. But they only cost 1 focus to keep on the later turns. So quite interesting thing for the spells. And you don't have roll to make a spell. It's automatically a success if you are in range of the person you want to target, and if you are within line of sight as well. So quite interesting way in this. And so yeah, she triggered all the spells. After this she ran, and when you run you cannot do anything more. You cannot shoot, you cannot charge, etc. Charge is part of the same subphase as movement. And yeah, really interesting, this system of upkeep and spells and everything. That's it for her activation. Let's continue with the first turn of Scyrah. And we are already finishing the first turn. Nothing happened much for Scyrah. No attacks, no shooting, anything. He, as you can see, kept some troops hidden in this like woody, fiery area. And everybody is protected behind this wall. There are some focus kept here. He activated some spells, like some special ability, burning focus, to be fast. We're again not going to through every spell because the objective is just to give you a feeling of the game and to see like how to resolve an attack, how to resolve an offensive spell, how do you calculate damage, really the basics of the game. But yeah, as I've seen during this movement phase, it's very important to be precise with your movement, and especially there is a system of proxy. So when you have 2 movements, one of 5 and one of 3, for example, you put a little around base to show where you would be, and then you calculate from this. So it seems very like precise game, which is nice. The movements for the units are very easy. It's kind of like Star Wars Legion, even easier because there is no squad leader. You just move one guy in the unit, and then all the others can be within 2 inches of this guy. And the whole unit needs to be within 3 inches of each other, of all of them, although that might be only for the deployment. So easy to move, easy to do, except it's like very precise and very fun. And we'll see later on how the attacks work, because it's going to be my first turn. We only start capturing the objectives starting at the second turn of the second player. So the first player cannot score the first 2 turns. But even on my first turn, I think there are going to be some shooting actions, so we will see how that works. I stop in the middle of my activation, my turn, because I probably won't make a shooting attack yet, because I'm a little bit out of range. The interesting movement, this guy, I made one guy come here, and then I could teleport everybody within 2 inches of the guy that moved, and they teleported inside the forest, which ignored for some reason the -2 speed that I could have had. So I'm protected because I'm quite thick inside the forest, and I kept this line that will be visible back to back because they have shield wall. So this nice little shield wall will give them +2 to the armor. So I really like that the rules encourage you to make beautiful formation, which is what we like to see. Then those shooting guys ran because they could run a little bit further, but I don't want to get too close because they were not in shooting range of anyone. And same for this guy, a little trick that happened. He had 2 focus, which is this like special power that you can have. One because he activated within range of my Warcaster, and one because he has a special rule when he activates within Electric Warrior Storm Legion, he gains a 2nd point of focus. I burned both of them because I don't want her her Warcaster, which can siphon my energy. It's her little special capacity. I wanted to burn everything, so I used one to run, to make an advance, so +5 speed. So it consumes the focus, and I give to myself Polarity Field with my shield, which will make me a little bit more resilient against the enemy Warjack. So that's what I did so far. I will just tell you what I will do next. I will activate this guy first, and he will move forward, and he will give Pathfinder to those guys with the big shields. And then I will put my Warcaster here. She will activate some spells, and that's going to be the end of my turn. Let's meet at the end of the first turn to see what I did. Okay, end of my turn. I did what I said I would do. This guy came here to hold the line here, to be back to back between the terrain, and this guy this way, this burning forest that it cannot see through, will protect kinda my Warcaster. This unit went through the acid. This guy is kind of like burning from the acid. Will make a roll of 3+. 3+, I lose a whole point health, and 1-2 I stop, so there is a chance I don't lose anything at all. This guy has Hallowed Avenger, which means that if someone dies within range, he can make a movement and punch. And this guy has Arcane Shield. I might use him for Shield Guard if something happens, so it's always good to give him +3 armor. That is going to be it for my first turn. Nobody scores, obviously. And now it's going to be the real attack, the massive onslaught of the Retribution of Scyrah. Let's go for turn 2. Okay, we are starting with Scyrah. The first activation is Kaelyssa. And she has 7 focus because she kept everything for herself, and her upkeep are free because she's elf. Of course, they're gonna have all the good rules. She's going to put in her magic pistol the munition that has dispel. So if you just hit my Warjacks, which have special upkeep spells such as Arcane Shield, they will just pop out. So that is very strong. She has 7 focus. She's going to make a first attack because you don't have to declare everything all at once. You can make one shot and then see what happens and then declare your second target. So she's gonna shoot once on this guy. He has defense 13. She has range quality 7. So with 2 dices base, she's supposed to make at least a 6 to reach defense 13 to touch him. But since she really wants to secure this, she's going to spend one of her focus to give a 3rd die. So this 3 dice making 6 should be easy. So let's see if she touches. She needs to make at least 6 in total. Oh, but easy. It's okay. He's really hit. Okay, and now she needs to breach the armor. He already loses Arcane Shield, which has a boost with the armor because of the dispel. So it doesn't work even once. So now she has 2 dices. No. Okay, 1 focus again to boost 3 dices.
12.
Okay, so that is going to be 21.
So 3 in the 5.
Okay, so as we said, he did 21. I had armor 18 with my little shield, so +3, and the little dice, the red one that was 5, it means it's on column number 5. So that means that I lose my first 3 health on the column number 5. I'm gonna make it appear probably on the left of the screen right now. And if I lose everything where it's written R, which is the right arm, I will lose my right weapon, which is this railgun. And I will lose 1 dice on the attack and on the damage roll with this weapon. If I lose the left arm, for example, entirely, I lose my defensive bonus from the shield. So you don't lose like, it's not binary, like you're alive and you're dead. You lose little by little parts of your mechs until he is really weak. That is an interesting system. And so yes, this guy lost already 3 health. All right, now that we've said this second shot, she burns 1 focus to shoot again with a reload, and she burns another focus in order to gain another dice. So 3 dices, defense 12, should be fine. Easy, easy. Okay, so she touches him, he loses Hallowed Avenger, okay. And now damage, 2 dices, we burn, yeah. 7 + 12, 19. I don't think it's going to be enough because he has armor 20. He holds it barely thanks to having a shield. 3rd shot with a reload because she's shooting yet again, and she shoots on this guy again, but now she has munition to make him stationary, so it's going to be very annoying next turn if she touches. How many dices? 2 dices, but it just need a 6. And oh, it's a 4. It's a miss. Yay! So he will be able to move. I was lucky on this. I think even a 5 would have been enough because he's defense 12. Just a 5 would have been enough, and he made a 4, so I'm very lucky The god of thunder is with me for this. Who is the main god of Cygnar?
Moro.
Moro, okay. So the main god of Cygnar, Moro, is with me and she misses. I'm very happy. Okay guys, next activation is activating is Athena. Just to note, he didn't use his once per game super ability called the feat. Each warcaster has a different feat that they can activate during their activation, and it's one per game, so you really need to calculate when you can do it. He makes his whole thing like gain stealth, and they're very hard to hit and hard to charge. And my bonus is I get more chance, like I have extra dice roll, and I remove the lowest when I attack. And when he attacks me, he has another dice, but he removes the highest. So he didn't feat. But he moved his Athena here, and the very interesting thing is like he has line of sight because you measure it from any part of the base. He has line of sight of this guy. The interesting thing is that my range of charge is 10 because I move 5 plus 3 for the charge plus 2 for the range of my weapon. So within 10, I could charge him. This guy is too far. This guy would be close enough, and this guy as well, to charge him. However, since this is a cloud and I cannot see through, and I don't have any rule like True Sight to see through it, this guy cannot initiate the charge because he doesn't see him. This guy sees him, so he could initiate the charge, but he's too far. So that is quite interesting. I really like that, for example, charge or advance and everything is flat numbers, so it really makes the game more strategic. Like, you don't rely on dice rolls and whatever happens, happens. It's really like you need to calculate the threat ranges much more than in any other game I've seen. It's really a game of threat ranges. Okay, you threaten me at 10, at 12, etc. So it's really interesting, actually. So he's going to shoot on this guy, and I'm afraid that we're going to say goodbye to the first miniature of the game. So he shoots with his big cannon, 3 dices. I have defense 12.
12, so 6 to hit.
Yeah, 6 to hit.
Nice.
Thank you! Hey, the god is really for me. It's the beginner's luck, this. Because this is really not statistics for a roll. Okay, well, great. You have only one shot?
Yeah,
okay.
only one.
I'm very happy. Okay, well, no, I spoke too soon. My elite legion is still there. Well, elite because the enemy makes misses. Okay, I'm very happy. End of the second turn for Scyrah, and yeah, it's quite defensive here. So he captures here. I will have to see what I do to contest this thing without getting too much in range of his attacks. He put one of his Mage Hunter Assassin here in the trench, so I will have to overcommit shooting him. I'm not sure I will be able to even touch him because he has a high defense, and if I charge with, for example, my Assailers, this guy will be there to counter charge, and he costs 3, I cost 8. I don't want to make this kind of trade. I will have to see if what I do. Do I make my feat? Probably not, because I don't have many things in the range for charging and everything. Let's start the Storm Legion turn 2. I will score here. I will try to contest here and to score here as well. So there will be a couple shots, but it will mostly be positioning, and I think turn 3 will be determining. Just a little feedback, we'll talk more about it under the debriefing, but it's very like precise game with +3 for the charge, +5 for the advance, and everything. It really feels like a chess game, like you're really measuring everything. Okay, I make a trade piece here, I made a trade piece there, and it really reminds me of chess. So that's a very good compliment. Okay, guys, so it's a very interesting game. I have to say, like, this objective play is really different, and I really love it. First, I went here to contest this house. I need to have as many guys here because I want to have at least one guy or 2 guys within 2 inches at the end of my of his turn, so it will not score. So that is what I will try to do. And at the same time, I put those guys here very much forward. So this guy is coming here. He will try to capture this cache to again. He will actually do it. So I will gain a point from there. And those 2 guys came here. This was the maximum movement of the charge. Is going to punch this guy. Same for him. And then this guy is also in range to contest this. So if he stays alive, he will contest. So I'm really being very annoying points-wise. And he will have to do everything to try to clean me up next turn. So I'm being a bit aggressive here, but we will see how that works and how tanky these guys really are. Okay, so let's make the attack of the Tempest Assailers on the Assassin. He is defense 15. I have a lot of damage and smite and everything, so if I touch him, I will kill him. I have mat 7, I need to reach 15, so I need 8 or better on 2 dices. This is the first attack. Let's see if I touch him. It's 8. Eh ben voilà. So the damage, let's do it first. So the first attack, since it's a charge, it's automatically boosted. So I have 3 dices. I have power 14. It should, but not that much. I have 14, 17, 19. He has armor 12, 5 health. So even just with 19, I still kill him.
Yeah.
And it's smite, so he moves also in the other way. So, I punch him away with a hammer and he flies off. First casualty of the game. The positioning continues. I moved this guy here with Polarity Shield, which means he cannot be charged. So I spent a focus for this. So even if this guy gets killed by a ranged attack, this guy will not be able to charge here. So I will probably have initiative for the melee, which is what is important. This guy went here to keep control of this objective, and he gave repositioning to those guys, which means they move forward, they're going to shoot, and at the end of the activation, they're going to pull back here to get out of range for the charge and also to keep control of this objective. So as I said, they're going to shoot those little guys. First attack is going to be this guy that has a clear line of sight on this one. Is the only one that sees him well. I need a 6+ with this to touch him because I am rat 6. He is defense 12. Yeah, but absolutely not. Alright, so I missed the attack, but I still have a blast because when you have a blast weapon and you miss, the main target still gets a damage. So I need to make 10+ to make him lose 1 health, so it's going to be difficult, but who knows, and no, it doesn't work. Second attack, this guy is going to shoot this guy this time because it's the one that he sees well. So 2 attacks, I need to touch him, and I don't, actually. Guys, I still make a blast attack, so 10+. Nope. And final one, this guy, the only one that he sees well is this one. So he's going to shoot. I need again 6 to touch. I do touch. Okay, that is good. First, power 13 on this main target. So let's see the damage. I make 8, 3 health lost on this guy, and he has 2 left. Now blast on Narn. Power. Ah oui. 1 less die because he has protection from the blast from this guy. So I make 2 and well, yeah, nothing. And on Maros, the same, nothing. Okay, that is going to be it. I'm going to reposition and make the rest of my activations. Next activation, my Cursor with his railgun is going to shoot on this wounded warden. I'm going to aim, so it means I don't move, but I'm going to get +2 to hit him. So from rat 6, I'm going to rat 8, so that should help, except if I make a bad roll, as always. Okay, if I do the same for the damage roll, it's going to die. I just need a 5+ to kill him.
Boost.
Ah yeah, I have a free. Ah yeah, I have a free action that I don't know what to do with. Yeah, so 3 dices, 5+. Yeah, easy. So pop, off he goes, second casualty of the game. Okay, that's going to be the end of my turn. I capture this objective, I capture this objective, I contest both of those, so I'm quite happy. We'll see, like the counterpunch, it's probably going to be very hard. I kept 2 focus on Athena because I am afraid that she will be the target of a cowardly assassination attempt. We will see how that goes. One thing to note is that I put Arcane Shield here, I put Hallowed Avenger there, and I could have made open fire on him to try to get the good target, this guy, which is not in cover because he's not within 1 inch of the wall, to try to pop him off for 1 focus, but I am barely, like, I'm at 14.5 inches, so I will not do this. End of my second turn, I score some points. Let's see the third turn of the Retribution, probably the one where they will fit. Okay, first activations of the Retribution of Scyrah. First, the Wardens charged here. One guy came here, killed a Tempest Thunderer, sorry, and this little guy, his little friend, teleported here. He engaged my shooty guy, so I'm a little bit sad about this, contesting here, and he killed the second Tempest Thunderer there. Then Narn, that was here, the assassin guy with a very cool pose, came here, he charged, killed the Tempest Thunderer, Tempest Assailer here, easily in 1 attack. He had 2 anyways. And then with sprint, which is basically reposition at your full movement, comes here to secure his flank because you need a solo there. So that is quite a hit in my forces. My guys, even though they have big shield and stuff, they still die quite easily. we will see what happens next. Probably these magenta infiltrators will come to clean up here. Okay, that's going to be the end of the third turn for the Scyrah, and I basically lost my entire army. So we've seen a few things. Those little mage infiltrators, mage hunter infiltrators, came here and obliterated everything that was here, like the last few of the Tempest assailers. They came with the sprint to click this guy, and as you can see, my entire unit here died. This guy came here, killed one of them. This guy killed one of them. The Warcaster Kaelyssa killed like 3 of them as well. So of the pack of 6, only 1 remains, and it's because it was barely out of range of this guy to get shot at. So while I am on my back foot, everybody is dead. Basically, I will try to feed to see what happens, how it works, but I don't see how I can come back from this, having lost like I think more than 30 points in this little game. But we will try to fight back until the end, turn 3 for the Storm Legion. Okay, well, something that is quite interesting, and we will show it today, is that even though my army is wasted and I look like any other game, it will be like, okay, game over. Actually, there is one thing that we will try to do, is to go what they call KTC, kill the caster. I will try to make a checkmate and to kill with this guy, her. Why? Because he has Hallowed Avenger. So what we're going to do at the beginning of the turn, so before all of my other activations, I'm gonna move this guy. He's gonna come here 3 inches, and then he's gonna try to kill the guy that still engages him to clear himself. Then I will activate her, cleaning probably this guy and sending some spells and trying to kill a few things. I will not have the charge bonus anyway, but still gonna be nice, and then send him some, I don't know, spell, lightning, and etc. She will activate her feat to boost. This guy will technically not charge, but he will just move up there to try to kill her, to contact her. And then if I do manage to kill the enemy Warcaster, the game is over and the Storm Legion wins. So it is time for heroics. Let's see if we can do all of this. We will film all of those different attacks to see how it goes, because it might be game over. And just to show you that there are so many options in this game, another thing that we could have done and we will not do is that they have an attack called Trample that we could do. The guy could just, after the feat of her, of course, could just charge all the way there, doing little attacks on everyone on this path, boosted by her feat, which again stabilizes by adding an extra dice, removing the lowest. And it would be there, yeah, this is a proxy, so it would be there, contest, kill basically all the guys here, and bring me back into the game as well. And I would activate Polarity Shield, so I don't get charged by him. So it could be another way, but since we did spend a little bit of time here, and my wife asked me to come home, we'll show the tentative of killing the caster, because it's really one of the most iconic thing of Warmachine, is this chess-like thing, where you can really try to kill the enemy caster to end the game. Let's do this. Hallowed Avengers. This guy moved here and he's going to try to liberate himself from this guy. I need a 7 to touch, please. Ah, and that is insufficient. Okay, so that is insufficient. It doesn't even touch this guy. So that is sad. So he's still engaged. I will need to clear this guy first before everything. So I will activate her first, but for now, that's a failure. Okay, so we had a long discussion because it's a real puzzle about who I activate first. The first thing I'm gonna do is this guy gets 2 focus. I'm gonna try to shoot in melee on this guy because I really would like to not be engaged anymore. So what is going to happen? I'm gonna launch 3 dice because I burn 1 focus. I do not keep the upkeep of Arcane Shield of him. 3 dice. I need a good roll.
10.
10, and exactly 10. Whew, that was a big gambit, but I didn't need anything less. Okay, then I boost again. Armor piercing, I need 8 to kill this guy, come on. And ben voilà, my life is much easier now. Whew, so stressful. You don't roll many dice in this game, but damn, it's very stressful. Like every dice roll is impactful. The game might turn here, so she activated, she declared her feat. So she moved here, she's in the fire, she doesn't care, she's going for glory. She has 3 of these little focus. I'm gonna use 1 to hit better with the spray. I cannot touch her anyway because she has stealth, so I couldn't make a spell to make him shoot on her or to, for example, shoot with another weapon. But since it is a spray, I can try to touch her. I have 3 dices because I boost. I have 4 because of my feat, and I will drop the lowest. I have rat 6. I ignore the lowest, but it doesn't help me very much. It's a huge failure. Oh putain, yeah. Well, for glory. I spent 2 of my little focus because I'm within 10 of this guy, which makes an aura of disruption. I'm gonna give open fire. Why not? Let's make the last few rolls. 3 dices. He's shooting on this guy. He's the only one he can aim because everybody has stealth because of the feat. And voila, he touches. 2 dices because the feat only helps to touch. 9. The armor piercing. Boop. Well, I'm not sure it helps in the caster kill thing, but I'm happy to kill someone. Okay, let's make our little activations there now. I made the movement of my officer on this guy. He's gonna try to punch him, and then he also has a shot. Maybe, why not? So 3 dices, removing the lowest. I need 7. Oof, easy. I have power 14 for lots of dices because of Weapons Master, but it's okay. I'm quite happy. And now I'm going to try to shoot first Electroleap on this.
Yeah, so this one.
Yeah, this one. So with Electroleap, this guy actually died automatically with the damage. So that is quite impressive. And 3 dices on this guy. I needed a double 6 somehow. Quite close, but no, not good enough. But at least I clear the path. I can activate this guy first, try to make some blast there, and then to finish it off with him. Okay, I am now here. I moved this little guy, this Tempest Thunderer. He's gonna shoot on her, automatically fail because she has stealth. However, it's an area of attack, so I'm gonna touch her with my low damage, power 8. I need 6+ to start to make damage. The higher, the better. Yeah, but that's good. That's a 9. So she loses
5.
5.
5,
Yeah, he spends 1 point of focus because the Warcaster, when they have focus, they can lower the damage they take. She spent all her focus to wipe out my unit here, but now she is vulnerable. And now, last activation, this guy is going to make his movement and try to kill her in one time. If he succeeds, my little hero, first of all, he will gain a name, and I will win. Otherwise, she will die in the counterattack. Okay, this is where the game is won or lost. I charged here. I have range 2 on my Albert, so she's within range 2. I will try to poke her through her defenses. I have 4 dices, 3 because of the charge, plus 1 because of the feat. I will remove the lowest. No, but I have 3 not because of the charge, but because I spend a focus to try to touch. If I touch, she should feel the pain very much. I'm really hoping to do at least 11 with 3 dices, removing the lowest of the 4. This would mean touching. Not many dices, but damn. Allez. Oh, so I remove the lowest, but it's a hit. Very good. Damage, 2 dices plus 3, looking for a very high number. So 6, and yeah. So it's 9. She has 7 health left. I spend a focus to make another attack and another focus to boost the touch, exactly the same. Come on, she's damaged. Will I finish her off? So it's 11, but it's already 11. 2 dices, and now, so I need a 4 with both the dices to kill her. Will it work? Just a 4? Just a 4? Yay! So, caster kill. Do you have something to scream there? Caster kill! That she's dead, and that is it. The Storm Legion were almost all dead, and they did manage through this very difficult combo. Like, I don't joke, it took 15 minutes to think, both of us and his experimented player, to think how to optimize, how to make sure. And you see that it really was a puzzle. You need to activate this first, clean here, make sure I touch here. And it was extremely difficult, lots of dices to lead to this dice roll. And in the end, the game is over. The Elvish army is in disarray, and they pull back. Many losses for the Storm Legion today, but in the end they win through this. It was extremely intense. We'll go for the debriefing now. It's not yet part of the narrative campaign what we are doing here. It was just to showcase the little rules and everything. I think we've shown what makes really the particularity of Warmachine. Let's go for the debriefing. Okay, that is going to be it for today. We hope that you enjoyed the video. We hope that it was clear as well for you. Again, thanks to Jason for having us in his home for filming this and for all the explanations and everything. And thanks to his wife as well. Thank you very much for having us. We are very glad to be able to show you some Warmachine and to have some experts to explain the rules, because there, if you're a new player, there are a lot of subtleties that would take a while to understand, but that with an expert is really like seems so easy. So now we get the game. We'll try to make some more battle reports. As always, if you have questions, let us know in the comments. It gives you a chance to win a Dystopian Wars fleet, one of 2 fleets, but also let us know if you like Warmachine. Would you like some more of this? Would you like us to use them for the narrative campaign, as we've said? Or are you like, yeah, this game is too competitive, too much on optimization, and it's not what we would like to see? Or we would like to see Warmachine in narrative context? Let us know what you like. Little feedback shortly about what I thought of the game. It's very different to everything we've said. It's closer to chess or puzzle solving than any other war game. You've said this a few times, but you have each turn, you have this idea of trade, like what do I put to my enemy? So he has some puzzles to solve, and it's really like you have a few pieces to solve, and you have like, and how do you solve the puzzle in the most optimal way possible? So very interesting, and you should see this at least a couple of times more, at least on the channel, because I feel there is a huge potential for this. It's more oriented towards competitive game and really like how you solve the puzzle the best way with the clock. But I think in a narrative campaign, the rule set is so optimal, so well written, that you can really make some nice and fun narrative scenarios in this. Gameplay wise, one thing that I was extremely shocked, I didn't think it would be so much, the game is so lethal. Like everything dies so fast. Like I was like, yeah, my big guys with huge shield and armor. No, they get killed in a single attack by a single elf with a knife. So of course they are a mage hunter, blah, blah, blah. But still, people die very fast in this game, and it's really a game of trade. Like if you expose something, it will die, and you need to think, what do I expose, and don't expect to survive too much. Overall, I think like we took our time here, but I think it's a game that can be played very fast if you know the rules, etc., because you don't have so many pieces, and the game is very lethal as well. It's a game of positioning. We'll try to get some terrain 3D printed to have even more beautiful tables and everything. And yeah, if you like this type of game, and Warmachine specifically, do give us a thumbs up. Let us know which armies we should collect for the channel as well. As you've seen, we have Storm Legion. We're thinking, should we get some Khador, the Russians? Should we get some elves, the House Kaelyssa for Mk4? Some Orgoth, the, I don't know, Vikings, Cyber Vikings that come from across the oceans to invade? Which armies would you like to see on the channel? Let us know. Thank you very much. Again, thank you, Jason. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. And until the next video, take care of yourself and remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye!